You count every calorie. You skip dessert. You push through the hunger because everyone said eating less would help you age better. Yet, somehow, your energy drops, your muscles shrink, your cravings explode, and the mirror doesn't reflect the sacrifice you've been making. After a while, you start asking yourself a painful question. What if my body just doesn't respond anymore? Most people blame themselves right there. They think they weren't disciplined enough. But here's the part nobody talks about. The biggest mistake may not have been eating too much. It may have been teaching your cells the wrong survival lesson. And if that's happening, every day of restriction could quietly be working against the very longevity you're chasing. Stay with me, because the hidden switch behind this has been sitting inside your cells all along. Most people never realize it exists until decades of damage have already accumulated. You weren't weak. Your body was responding exactly as it was designed to. That's the difference. Think about the last time you started a strict diet. The first week felt almost exciting. The second week became harder. By the third week, your sleep changed. Your mood changed. Even simple decisions felt exhausting. You weren't imagining it. Your biology had entered survival mode. Your body doesn't understand diets. It understands famine. And famine changes priorities. Repair becomes secondary. Protection comes first. Here's the critical thing to understand. Your body is less interested in helping you look younger than it is in helping you stay alive. Those are not always the same mission. Imagine your body as an enormous city. Every cell is a building. Every protein is a worker. Every mitochondrion is a power station supplying electricity. When food arrives consistently, maintenance crews repair roads, replace broken pipes, and reinforce old buildings. But when resources become scarce, everything changes. The city doesn't stop functioning. It simply delays repairs. Small cracks remain. Old equipment stays in service longer than it should. Emergency systems take over. At first, that strategy is brilliant. Then, something unexpected happens. Tiny delays become permanent damage. That's why caloric restriction has always confused scientists. Some studies showed dramatic lifespan increases. Others found disappointing or even harmful outcomes. How could the same strategy produce completely different results? Researchers at institutions like Harvard and the Salk Institute spent years trying to answer exactly that. The surprising part is, the calories themselves weren't telling the whole story. Something much deeper was making the decision. Inside every cell lives an ancient biological sensor. It doesn't count calories. It measures energy. And when that sensor shifts, it can completely change whether your cells invest in repair or survival. This discovery became one of the biggest turning points in aging research because suddenly, longevity wasn't just about eating less. It became about sending the right biological message. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. One of the most important discoveries came from Nobel Prize-winning scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi, whose work on autophagy transformed how researchers viewed cellular aging. Autophagy sounds complicated. It isn't. Imagine every building in that city has its own recycling crew, old machinery, broken furniture, rusty pipes. Instead of throwing everything away, skilled workers dismantle damaged parts and reuse valuable materials. That's autophagy. Clean first, rebuild second, repeat. When it works properly, your cells become cleaner, more efficient, more resilient. Your body doesn't simply survive. It renews itself. That sounds almost magical. But here's what most people completely miss. Autophagy isn't an on-off switch. It's part of a conversation. And one molecule, in particular, has enormous influence over that conversation. A molecule that decides whether your cells keep repairing themselves or quietly pause the entire cleanup process without you ever noticing. Once you understand what controls that switch, caloric restrictions stop being a guessing game and starts becoming a precise biological tool. But the identity of that molecular gatekeeper and why millions unknowingly activate its opposite every single day is where everything changes. The molecule is called mTOR, and this is where it gets dark. Most people think mTOR is the enemy because they hear one sentence repeated everywhere: turn it off to live longer. That sounds simple. It's also incomplete. mTOR is not a villain. It's a construction manager. Imagine that same city again. When mTOR receives the signal that nutrients are abundant, It tells construction crews to build. New proteins, new muscle, new tissue. That's exactly what you want. But here's the problem. If the construction manager never takes a break, nobody cleans up the old buildings. Broken machinery stays hidden. Damaged proteins pile up. The recycling crews never catch up. Your cells become crowded with biological junk. Researchers, studying aging, have linked chronic overactivation of mTOR with reduced cellular maintenance and faster biological aging. The problem isn't that mTOR exists. The problem is that modern eating habits rarely allow it to rest. Here's what changes everything. It's not constant eating. It's constant signaling. A handful of snacks, sugary drinks, late-night meals, even frequent grazing. Throughout the day, each one quietly reminds your cells that construction should continue. Cleanup keeps getting postponed, year after year. That's why some people eat healthy foods all day long and still feel older than they should. Their cells never receive enough uninterrupted time to perform deep maintenance. And here's the part nobody talks about. The goal is never to silence mTOR forever. Your body needs it. Without it, healing slows, strength declines, muscle disappears. Longevity isn't built by choosing between growth and repair. It's built by giving your body time for both. Here's a practical rhythm your cells can actually understand. Start your morning by delaying your first meal for about 12 to 14 hours after dinner, if it fits your health needs. During that window, water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea can help maintain a lower insulin response. Why? Because lower insulin allows AMPK, your cellular energy sensor, to become more active, encouraging repair pathways. When you do eat, make it count. Include high-quality protein like eggs, Greek yogurt, salmon, or tofu, alongside fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats from olive oil or walnuts. Why? Protein supports muscle through mTOR activation, while fiber slows glucose spikes and healthy fats improve metabolic stability. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Don't fear mTOR. Schedule it. After training, eat another protein-rich meal. Your muscles become more responsive. Recovery improves. Strength becomes part of your longevity plan instead of competing with it. As evening arrives, let the signals quiet down. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before sleep whenever possible. Choose colorful vegetables, legumes, fish, or lean poultry, and avoid constant evening snacking. Why? Your cells gain a longer overnight window to transition from growth toward maintenance, while your sleep hormones also work more efficiently. And don't ignore sleep itself. During deep sleep, cortisol falls, growth hormone rises, and countless repair processes become more effective. A perfect diet cannot compensate for chronically poor sleep because your cellular maintenance crew works its best overnight. This is what healthy aging really looks like. Not endless restriction, not constant eating. A rhythm. Growth. Repair. Growth again. Small decisions begin stacking on each other. One better meal supports one better workout. One better workout improves insulin sensitivity. Better insulin sensitivity gives your cells clearer repair signals. Weeks become months. Months become years. Your body doesn't suddenly become younger. It becomes better at protecting the future version of you. And that's the hope hidden inside the science. You don't have to fight your biology. You have to work with it.